Man, do we have some reading to do today. Today we're coming out of the book of 1 Samuel. A lot of stuff going on in that book. And I have to read all of the lessons leading up to chapter 7 because it's going to help us understand one crucial fact in how God deals with the children of Israel and how he's dealing with us today. You all are about to see something in the text. One sentence that will answer a lot of the issues that the children of Israel had. And when you see it, I'm going to ask y'all to go into the comment section and say, here's the problem. See you in 60. Bass.
It's the show that will get you thinking, and where the topics are hot. Feel free to comment whether we agree or not, 'cause he's got something to say. Sirwalterj Jones. Sirwalterj Jones. He's got something to say. Sirwalterj Jones. Sirwalterj Jones Show.
Come on in. The water's fine. Doo-doo-yeah. Hello, everybody. This is Elder Walter of the wrong. This is Elder Walter Jones of the Faith Temple Church of God in Christ. Wrong house. Faith Temple Church of God in Christ. 1932 Dewey Avenue in Evanston, Illinois. Sorry, I still have my birthday highlight on. I forgot where I was. I got to behave in this here house. In this house, clean this from the inside out. How y'all doing? Y'all doing like that? All these bunkers. I see all these bunkers saying hello. How y'all doing? Today we got a lot of reading to do. Hope you're ready for the reading. All right. Because the reading is going to help us to understand what is the lesson talking about. This is coming out of this Powerful Living. Go to the Kojic bookstore, .org or something. Samuel administers justice. Samuel does it. Samuel have the same issue that Eli have. Boys. Somebody said boys will be boys. Samuel, a judge and a prophet. All right, y'all gotta understand. Samuel was just a prophet. He was a judge of Israel. This is before they had kings. And Samuel had two boys who was a problem. Eli had two boys who was a problem. Some of y'all got two boys who was a problem. Some of you pastors and evangelists and prophets out there, your boys is a problem. You left the church to a problem. Oh, I'm already in trouble. So if I go here to the whiteboard, I'm going to show y'all how we can get around this here. 1 Samuel chapter 2. We all know the story of Hannah prayed. Hannah prayed to God. Okay, she finally got her boy. Here's her prayer. We're familiar with the prayer. When we get down here, we see Eli's wicked boys. Yes, wicked boys. And then it says, now the sons of Eli were scoundrels. Sounds familiar, pastors? Yeah. Who had no respect for the Lord. None. Absolutely not. All right. Now, I told y'all when y'all see a hint, all right, All right, this is not the hint yet, but you about to see it. When you see it, I'll give you a heads up though. Okay. And when you see it, you're gonna type in the comment section. There's the problem. Or for their duties of priests. Okay, no respect. Whenever anyone offered sacrifices, Eli's sons would send over a servant with 3-pronged fork. Boy, these scoundrels. While the meat of the sacrifice was still boiling. All right, y'all know that story right there. The man offering the sacrifice might reply, "Take as much as you want, but the fat must be burned." Come on, man, the fat must be burned first. The servant would say, "Nah, give it to me." Y'all know that story right there. Just treacherous, evil. Samuel, though he was only a boy, served the Lord. He wore a linen garment like the priest. Each year, his mother made a small coat for him and brought it to him when she came. All right, before they returned home, Eli would bless Elkanah and his wife. All right, the boy grew. Eli was very old, but he was aware. He was aware of what his sons were doing to the people of Israel. He knew, for instance, that the sons were seducing the young women. He knew it. Michelle said, "There's the problem." He knew. All right. Who assisted and Eli said to them, "I have been hearing reports." Wait, now Eli's talking to him. Okay? Eli's talking to him. I've been hearing reports from all the people about the wicked things you are doing. Why do you keep sinning? Why you keep sinning? Dre say, there lies the problem. Now, this is the first problem. All right? With man, this is the first problem. Now, another problem is getting ready to happen, but this problem is through God. All right? This problem is through God. I want y'all to tell me where that problem is. God caused the problem. All right? So y'all are right here. Y'all are right. You must stop, my sons. Did not he rebuke his sons? When I was young, this always bothered me. But why would God punish when Eli told them to stop? The reports I hear among the Lord's people are not good. If someone sins against another person, can mediate for the guilty party. But if someone sins against the Lord, who can intercede? I mean, come on. But Eli's sons wouldn't listen to their father, for the Lord was already up. The Lord was already planning to put them to death. Guess what? Too late. Too late, bruh. You sat too long. You did not rebuke them in time. So there was nothing that Eli could do. Nothing. The boy Samuel grew taller in the favor of the Lord. And then a warning for Eli's family. One day, a man of God came to Eli and gave him this message from the Lord. "I revealed myself to your ancestors when they were Pharaoh's slaves. I chose your ancestor Aaron from among the tribe." All right. So why do you scorn my sacrifices and offerings? Why do you give your sons more honor than you give me? Oh, see right here. For you, they have become fat. Therefore, I promise that your branch of tribe of Levi would always be my priest. But I will honor those who honor me, and I will despise those. Okay, the time is coming when I put an end to your family. Time is coming. They got to go. So it would no longer serve as my priest. All the members of your family will die. All of them will die. All of them. None will reach your old age. You will watch with envy as I pour out prosperity on the people of Israel. Ooh, to the wee. You will watch it. But no members of your family will ever live out their days. The few not cut off from serving at my altar. All right, y'all are messed up. Hophni and Phinehas die on the same day. Then I will raise up a faithful priest who will serve me and do what I desire. I will establish his family, and they will be my priests and my anointed. And then all of your surviving family will bow before him, begging food, money. All right. Please, they will say, give us jobs among the priests, so we will have enough to eat. All right. Now that's number one. That's 1 Samuel chapter 2. When we get to chapter 3, here it is. Chapter 3. What it say now? Okay, why is that like that? Meanwhile, the boy Samuel served the Lord by assisting Eli. Now in those days, messages from the Lord were very rare. Visions were quite uncommon. Anybody see it? Anybody see it? Y'all see it now? That right there is not just the problem of yesteryear. That is the problem of today. Come on, Michelle Fields. There's the problem. You see it now? Come on, Denise. There's the problem. Come on, Truth Reigns. You in my head. You in my head. Because I was just getting ready to say something. There's the problem. The problem right there. In those days, messages from the Lord were very rare. And visions were quite uncommon. Is God like repeating himself today, though? Is he repeating himself with messages that are rare and visions that are uncommon? Or are we really just being lied to? Because wasn't there false prophets back in these days too? And what can we lean on right now if God's voice is quiet? I need answers. Because it seems to me that we got more fake and false prophets today than we do any real ones. Y'all better hear me. It's going to take me a while to get into this Sunday school lesson. So y'all got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of all of these YouTube content creators, from Elder Rodney Jones to that Sunday school girl to all the Cody folks, okay? They taught y'all a lesson. So you come here at the end of the week to get his history. His history. Where Gary at? No, who was that? That was J Red. J Red. You come here for the his. I can't even say it no more. Was it there to say? That's not already been written. Truth Reigns already cutting up. Okay? Here's the problem. We got all these jackleg prophets who don't prophesy the right thing. They only prophesy things that brings notoriety to them. Ron said loud and clear, dog. Notoriety to them. What I mean by that? Brian's song Carnality prophesied about the Amtrak train derailment because of the Amtrak train hit a dump truck or something like that. He allegedly prophesied about that a week before it happened. So when it did happen, and I use the word allegedly, when it did happen, because we know what happened, we saw it on the news. his team put this big old post together and highlights of the news reports behind him while he's speaking about this prophecy of the Amtrak train collision. Question. Ooh, Mr. Carter. Ooh. Question. I got a question. Teacher, can I talk? Can you recognize me? Point on the speaker. Yes, Sirwalterj Jones. What did your prophecy of a train derailing have to do with anything spiritual? What does it have to do with anything? You prophesied that the White Sox, who was that? One of these teams was going to win the championship game or the World Series, and you prophesied that Ronald Reagan. I'm sorry, who was it? George Bush. Keep your eye on George Bush Sr. God's going to take him out of here. Okay. What did any of that have to do with my salvation and how I can reach the lost and eschatology and the message to the church? What does that have to do? I could sit here and prophesy about a few things and just wait it out, and it will happen. A hurricane is coming in about 3 months. Saints, a hurricane is coming, and it's coming on somewhere around Florida. Over there where the Atlantic meets the shores of the eastern shorelines of the United States. I can see from Florida all the way up to Maine. I see a hurricane coming. Get ready, saints, get ready. A hurricane is coming. Well, food is going into hurricane season. And hurricanes just don't happen right where I live. They mostly happen over there in the Atlantic Ocean. So that's it. So I just, and here's the problem. David Brock, good to see you, sir. So the problem is, it's the people who are in the audience listening to that. So I want to bring this up because some of y'all be missing these little things that the writer of the scripts be saying in the scriptures. You got to pay close attention because this, what I'm getting ready to read again, is the whole fabric of why Samuel had to keep coming to their help and assistance. God did it. God stopped talking. Quite uncommon for him to say anything. So one night Eli, who was already blind, almost blind, he was already blind, had gone to bed, and the lamp of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was sleeping in the tabernacle near the ark of God. Suddenly, the Lord called out, "Hey, Sam." Yes. Okay. I ain't call you. Yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay. Y'all know this story here. All right. Speak. Your servant is listening. The Lord said to Samuel, I am about to do a shocking thing. I'm going to carry out all my threats against Eli. I told that boy. I'm about to show you a mystery. And his family from the beginning to the end. I have warned him that judgment is coming upon his family forever because his sons are blaspheming God. And he hasn't disciplined them. I thought he did discipline them. Apparently, he did not. So I have vowed that the sins of Eli and his sons will never be forgiven by sacrifices or offerings. Miss me with these sacrifices. You got to read You got to read Isaiah chapter 1. He said, miss me with these sacrifices and new moons and these little covenants that you made with me and these convocations and stuff. He said, miss me with all that stuff. Though your sin be scarlet. All right. He says, you're putrefied. That you got sores on your body and it's not healing. So they would just do sacrifices unto God when they would sin. That's what David did when he sinned. Yeah, just do a little ceremonial washing. I'm good to go. Samuel speaks for God, for the Lord. Samuel stayed in bed until morning, then got up and opened the door. Okay, let's go on. What did the Lord tell you? Samuel, I can't tell you what he told me. Tell me everything, bruh. And may God strike you and even kill you if you hide anything from me. So Samuel told Eli everything. He didn't hold anything back. It is the Lord's will. Let him do what he thinks best. Samuel grew up. The Lord was with him. And everything Samuel said proved to be reliable. Wow. So it didn't happen right away, y'all. And all Israel, from Dan in the north to Beersheba in the south, knew that Samuel was confirmed as a prophet of the Lord. The Lord continued to appear to Shiloh. All right, now, that's chapter 3. We almost there, y'all. Chapter 4. Look what happens here. The Philistines captures the ark. This becomes the focus of the story for the next couple chapters is the Ark of the Covenant. That's one bad machine right there. Israel was at war with the Philistines. The Israelite army was camped near Ebenezer. All right, that's a stone, by the way, stone. Ebenezer, and the Philistines were at effect. The Philistines attacked and defeated the army of Israel. The Philistines, the army, killed 4,000 men. Freaked them out. Why did the Lord allow us to be defeated by the Philistines? Uh-oh, I got a great idea. Let's bring the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord from Shiloh. If we carry it into battle, he will save us. Uh-oh. Tell me when y'all see it. Oh, man, y'all got trickeries when things ain't working for you. Some of y'all are working on your feelings, nothing more than feelings. Trying to forget my sin of love. I'm going to shake myself, as Samson said. I'm going to shake myself. The Philistines are upon you, Samson. He said, I'm going to shake myself. I'm going to overtake them. And he shook himself. He kept shaking himself. And he reached out and said, wait, hold up. Where's my ponytail? Where's my ponytail, girl? He went to a female barber shop. And she snipped him like Coming to America. Snip! All right, boy. $20, please. I'm going to shake myself. That's what they figured. Oh, okay, we done lost all these men. I got a great idea. Hey, Mikey, bring the cereal in here. We got a great idea. Let's get the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, great idea. And let's put it out there on the battlefield. The Lord will surely be with us then. And God was like, okay. All right. Okay. So they sent men to Shiloh to bring the Ark of the Covenant, who's enthroned. And okay, when all Israel saw the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord coming into camp, they shouted, "Hey, joy, loud, great, the ground shook." They just shouted, hallelujah, like y'all do in church, as if your noise is going to turn God into something. Knowing you did not fix the issue you having with your brother or your sister, you come to church with the Ark of the Covenant, knowing you hate your brother and your sister. Don't do it, Ron. Ron Pringle, don't do it. EDDICC. Knowing good and well you are a rascal at home. Bringing the Ark of the Covenant with you. So right here. What's going on? The Philistines asked. The enemy was like, hey, what's all that noise? What's all the shouting going on? And when they were told it was because of the Ark of the Covenant had arrived, then what happens is the Philistines then remembered what God had done, and then they began to fear. The enemy was fearful because they remembered what God did to the Egyptians. Whoa, that's that same God that gave them the plague. So the Philistines fought. They fought hard. And Israel was defeated again. Wait a minute. See, how was it possible that you brought the Ark of the Covenant in here? You exercised all your gifts and callings, and you still got defeated. The enemy came hard. The slaughter was great. Now another 30,000. That's a total of, I don't know what, 34,000? I went to Chicago public school, so I'm not that great at math. The survivors turned and fled to their tents. The Ark of God was captured. And guess what else happened? Hophni and Phinehas, the two sons of Eli, God took care of his plan. He executed his plan. Those boys gotta die. Marlene, stop. Stop. I can't. I'm in the wrong house. The death of Eli. Then what happens? God ain't no fool. You can fool. You a poet. Didn't know it. That's good. A man from the tribe of Benjamin ran from the battlefield. Arrived at Shiloh later that day. He had torn his clothes and put dust. Y'all know how they do. Eli was waiting behind the road to hear the news of the battle, for his heart trembled. Listen to what the writer says about Eli's heart. Tell me when you see it. For his heart trembled for the safety of what? Ark of God. Can y'all tell me what's the problem there? Can y'all tell me what the problem is? Huh? Can y'all tell me what the problem is? Y'all see it? I want y'all to show me. When the messenger arrived and told what had happened, an outcry resounded throughout the town. Come on, Ron, you got it. You got it. What is all the noise about? Eli asked. The messenger rushed to Eli, he was 98 years old and blind, and he said to Eli, I have just come from the battlefield. I was there. What happened, my son? Eli demanded. Israel has been defeated by the Israelites. The messenger replied, the people have been slaughtered, and your sons, Hophni and Phinehas, were killed. And the Ark of God has been captured. Here's the problem. When the messenger mentioned what had happened to the ark, when the messenger had what had happened to the ark, he fell back in his seat, broke his neck, died. He was fat. He had been Israel's judge for 40 years. What? If my sons had went off to battle for war, and God, holy relic, went out to war too, do you think I'd be worried about God's holy relic? What is this saying right here? We have put too much trust, and our hearts have gone out and been too attached to this building. This building. See behind me? That's a church. I'm not saying Faith Temple is doing that. because I'm in the right house. But what you've done, America, is you have tied your heart to this building. And you're cheering whatever. You pastors. Your kids don't like you. They hate you. They tell me this all the time. You never spend time with them. They are latchkey kids. So you think I'm going to be worried about how God is being handled in war? God could take care of himself. My heart is going to go out for my boys. That's just the way God made me. My heart was going to go out for my... God can take care of himself. He's a mighty battle axe in the time of trouble. Sounds strange, don't it? Eli was morbidly obese, legally and spiritually blind. You best believe, if I'm on my way to church and I know I got to speak at church and 6,000 people show up at this church to hear Sirwalterj preach, and I'm driving to church trying to get there on time, and my son called and said, Daddy, I need you. I need you like never before. Guess what me and that car gonna do? Guess what me and that car gonna do? I'm gonna pick up the phone and call the church and say, listen, there's some other preachers there, right? But 6,000 people showed up for you. Listen. You tell the 6,000 people the word of God's going to go forth regardless. My son is in trouble. And I got to catch a plane right now to Atlanta. Me and that car going to turn around and we're going to head over to the airport. And I'm going to go in my bank account, and if I got to go broke to buy a $1 million ticket, how be it so. I'm buying a ticket, and we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia in a couple hours. Do you understand what I'm saying? Y'all can be mad at me all you want to. God's house will take care of God's house. This is why Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. And this is what you all are doing, you preachers and evangelists and all you people out there. You're taking care of God's house, you call it, too much. And you're not seeing to your house at home. You're not. And so even now, so then when something happens and somebody die, today's life insurance policy is called Go Fund Me. Me and Michelle was talking about that. You wrote that yesterday? Go Fund Me. That is today's life insurance policy. Oh, man. Gary Gardner's here, y'all. Gary Gardner, the troublemaker from yesterday's show. Gary Gardner say they're going to take your fishing license. I sat with Demetrius today. And we had a laugh about that crazy Gary. That crazy Gary. That boy right there. All right. So right here. Where am I? I got on my soapbox. Because they're going to take my fisher's license. Eli's daughter-in-law, the wife of Phineas, was pregnant and near her time of delivery when she heard that the ark of God had been captured and that her father-in-law and husband were dead. She went into labor and gave birth. She died. Everybody dying. Why? Because God said the family's going to be wiped out. But before she passed away, the midwives tried to encourage her. Hey, don't be afraid. You got a baby boy. But she didn't pay no attention. Name that boy Ichabod. The glory of the Lord Where is the Lord? Oh, he has departed, y'all. Israel's glory is gone. She named him because the ark of God had been captured and because her father-in-law and husband were dead. Then they said the glory has departed from Israel, for the ark of God have been captured. Y'all, this story is so relevant today. Relevant. Now, that's 1 Samuel chapter 4. I told you I was going to take me a little while. Chapter 5. Y'all want me to quit? Y'all tell me you want me to quit. Because I can quit. And I go and lay back down. Then this Ark of the Covenant gets captured. They captured it. They took it from the battleground at Ebenezer. And they carried the ark of the temple to Dagon and placed it beside an idol of Dagon. But when the citizens of Ashdod went to see it the next morning, they're like, boy, let's see what we captured. Dagon had fallen to his face, to the ground. They did it 2 times. They did it again, that is, and Dagon was bowing to the Ark of the Covenant. They said, get this thing out of here. Oh, God's going to get his. Jack Davis, blessed to you, sir. Then the Lord's heavy hand struck the people of Ashdod and the nearby villages with a plague and tumors. When the people realized what was happening, they cried, "Ooh, we can't keep this ark. Get this thing out of here. Take it back. Return the sender. Address unknown. No such number. No such soul." The rulers disgusted and said, "Move it to the town of Gath." So they moved the ark of God to Gath, but when the ark arrived there, the Lord fell heavy on them too, and plagues and tumors. We can't do nothing with this. It's like getting a piece of gum stuck on your hand. You move it from one hand to the next, and you're trying to get the gum off, and the Ark of the Covenant was one big gum they couldn't get rid of. So they sent the Ark of God to the town of Ekron, but when the people of Ekron saw it coming, they were like, they are bringing the Ark of the Don't bring that over here. They're going to kill us too. I'm telling y'all, this Bible is funty. It's funty. The people summoned the rulers again. They begged them, please send that thing away from us. Take that back to God. For the deadly plague from God. Hilarious. All right. That's 1 Corinthians. That's 1 Samuel 5. All right. Number 6. We almost there, y'all. We got one more to go. I told you I was going to take us a while to get here because I need y'all to see the historicity of the lesson. All right. Right here. The ark of the Lord remains in Philistines territory 7 months. They couldn't get rid of that thing. The Philistines called in the priests and the diviners and asked them, what should we do about this ark? Tell us. All right. And then the diviners, the diviners, depending on how you want to express yourself, said, oh, hey, here's what you need to do. Get 2 cows and yoke them together, the ones who've never been yoked together, and then get some rats and all kind of crazy stuff and let those cattle walk. Let them walk on their own and just tell them just let them go. And if they go over there to the land of where those Israelites are, then that means God did this thing and it wasn't by happenstance. That means we need to clean up what I messed up, started my life over again. That's what's happening all through here, y'all. All right? And so that's exactly what happened. Those cows did exactly what God made those cows do. But the Lord killed, wait, hold on. The 5 gold tumors sent by the Philistines as a gold offering. The 5 gold rats represented the 5 Philistine towns. The large rock, okay. So the Lord killed 70 men, though, from Beth Shemeth because they looked into the ark. Wow. You're coming before the Lord dirty. You're not supposed to look into the ark. and God wiped them out. You remember that story we talked about last week of Uzzah, who touched the ark. It looked like he was doing a good thing. And God killed him too. Why? Because there was something about that ark. So the Philistines were able to carry the ark into their territory. We didn't hear what they died when they carried the ark over there. But then God made a spectacle out of them. He started wiping folks out once the ark got into that territory, because God is a strategic ruler, a military might. That's who God is. Come on, Jack. You're not supposed to even touch the thing. And if you were not a Levite, you were not to touch it. And you were supposed to put it on poles and carry it. The ark is supposed to be suspended in air on your shoulders, because that is the burden of the Levites. They are carrying their inheritance. You're not supposed to touch it. So that boy reached up and touched it, and God electrocuted him. So these boys looked into it, and God killed them. Coming before the Lord dirty. Everybody riding dirty. And the people mourned greatly because of what the Lord done. Who was able now? Which one of us can even? Come on. Who was able to stand in the presence of the Lord? This holy God. They cried out, "Where can we send the ark from here? My God!" So they sent messages to the people at Kiriath Jearim and told them, the Philistines have returned the ark. Come here and get it. Come get this thing. All right? That's number 6. Now we're going into the Sunday school lesson, finally. So, test of the emergency broadcast system. This is only a test. Can y'all tell me where was the initial problem? I need to know. Where is the initial problem? 2 places. Can y'all put in the comment section? Where are the 2 places where we saw the problem? I'd like to know. Okay. Michelle Fields says leadership. Yep. Jack Davis says pride. Yep. You come on. God's order overrules man's choice. Come on, Deatrice Carter. Yes. Anybody? 2 places where the problem is. Where be the problem? Where be the problem at? Okay. Carol said disobedience. Yes. Carol gave me a wonderful testimony. She's in camp. And souls are being saved while she's at camp. Ooh, Carol, you bless me. Girl, you bless me with that. Who goes to camp and folks are just getting saved? Lord have mercy. Not hearing from God and proceeding without his counsel. Come on, Denise. Leadership would not correct. That's the first one. Yes. Parental guidance. Timothy Johnson. Yes. Bless you, Timothy. So good to see you. Eli's disobedient. Yes. Serving God the wrong way. Yes. Yes. Lack of understanding and obedience. That's it, Tony Collins. Y'all all are right. That's on the man's side. What about God's side? God caused the problem. Can y'all tell me what the problem is? What problem did God cause? 5 souls saved. Ages 12 through 18. Woo, ripe for the picking. Ripe for the picking. Would love to be a fly on the wall to witness that. The greatest moment you can ever see is when young people come to the Lord. It's the greatest moment you can witness. Complacency, Michelle Carter says. Yes. Come on. That's it. Idolatry. Non-accountability of the parents over the children and the continuous walking of disobedience. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, what did God do which caused the problem? Or what did he not do? What did he not do? Because what he did not do is what the problem is, and this what we're getting ready to read right now. I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that. All right. While y'all looking for it, let me go back into the whiteboard and get to it. No, I'm looking for what God did not do. I told y'all, I showed y'all those two places. Yes, Terry, but nope. And I read it to y'all. I says, here's the second problem right here. And somebody, I'm sure, typed it, but sometimes the computer brings in the comments a little slow. So the men of Kiriath Jearim came to God to get, the ark. They took it to the hillside home of Abinadab and ordained Eleazar his son to be in charge of it. Thank you, Tony Collins. Tony Collins got it. God was quiet. Getting in life with the cinnamon. I like that name. God was quiet. God did not speak. Rarely would he say anything. Y'all understand? But those of you who keep saying that the Lord says, and the Lord spoke to me and said, and I hear God saying this, and God says this, and God says this, God is doing so much talking today to y'all. I'm amazed at how much God is speaking to so many of you, but he can't speak it to you at home. Wrong house. I'm in the wrong house. I'm leaping out here on faith. I'm leaping out here. I'm going deep because I got to get my fishing license back. I'm often amazed at how it seems God just don't talk to you about your problems at home, your bills. You go and do all of this shopping, knowing you can't afford it. You get yourself in debt. You eat till you get sick. Is not God speaking to you at any of those times of your life? Huh? All of a sudden, we're serving a chatty God. Huh? And Beverly said, here it comes. God is not talking to you about your finances? How is it that God's not speaking to you about this man that he don't belong to you? This woman that's not yours. That girl belongs to somebody else. That's somebody else's woman or man. Okay, is God not speaking then? But when you're with the saints, all of a sudden God is speaking a whole lot. I hear the Lord speaking, and here's what he's saying to the house. Is he not speaking to your house, though? Huh? I hear Alexandra. Come on. He's speaking, but you ain't listening. Bishop say, so much for the fishing life. I mean, I'm trying to, I am a realist. I'm a realist. As soon as my thing focused, I'm a realist. I need some real answers. I'm going to need God to talk to me about these birds attacking me. Oh, man. Unless I'm out and in danger, even then, it's mostly before I leave my... Come on, Truth. You got the right name there. You got the right name. All right, so with that being said, because I like to test y'all. Come on, TJ say Marcus Rogers' dreams, they were about him, not his followers. It's always God told me. Familiar spirits. God ain't told them nothing, right? Okay? So that's what's happening here. The ark remained in Kiriath Jearim for a long time. 20 years that ark was in that town. 20 long years. During that time, all Israel mourned because it seemed that the Lord had abandoned them. The Lord abandoned you? You left him first. And then Ichabod came home. You abandoned God. He warned you. And this is why that song, I'm chasing after you, no matter what I have to do. I don't sing that song no more. I'm not chasing. I wasn't chasing God. I wasn't looking for him. I wasn't looking for him. The scripture says that while I was yet in sin, what happened? Can y'all tell me? Can y'all tell me? Put in the comment section. This Sunday school, why not just join me with Sunday school? Okay? While I was yet in sin, can y'all tell me the rest? I wasn't looking for him. I could care less about a Jesus and his Christ. I was too busy having fun. I was good. What do I need him for when everything I'm doing feels good? I don't need him. I met so many people whom God really talks to, but they were all rejected by the church. Wow. Wow. Come on, Ron. Yes. I have strong dislike. I picture God breaking ankles like a basketball. Woo! That's good, girl. That's good. Tony said, wrong house. I wasn't chasing him. While I was yet in sin, he commended his love for me and died. So even after he had died 2,000 years ago, as I got older, I did not care for no Jesus. I was chasing girls. Girls and money and get-rich-quick schemes and 1-900 numbers. Not realizing I needed a Savior and I needed him now. I need you now. I need you now. I need you now. I ain't know that until I found him. Once I found him, where did I find him? Here's the secret. Here's the sad. I'm in the wrong house. I can't even tell you where I found him. Cause I might offend the house. Might offend the house. Okay, I'm gonna offend the house. I don't care. Where I find him? I didn't find him in this house. I found God at home. Now, to encourage y'all about this house, I heard about him in this house. So I give credit to this house. I heard about him, but I found him at home. See it? I may get my fisher's license back. I just might get them fisher's license back. They told me about him here. I got home and then I heard his voice. And I pulled my clothes off. I stripped. Y'all found him the way you found him. I stripped. I said, God, I need you to see me naked. And I fell on my face, prostrate, and stayed on the floor, naked. TMI, I'm sure. But I fell on my face. I was a young man in my 20s. And I cried before the Lord on the floor, outside my bedroom door. I says, I don't want anything to disturb me, and I want to be born again like how I come out of my mother's womb. I fell on my face, and I stayed on that floor all night. Thinking about it, I'm about to mess myself up just thinking about it, because I see me crying before the Lord on that floor. Lord have mercy. And he heard me that night, and he answered me. You best believe that. That's where I found him. And when I get to meet some of you bunkers, y'all gonna tell me how you found him. So when y'all say I'm chasing after you, no, he was chasing me. And he found me. Naked. On the floor. And that's how God talked about how he found Israel. Rogers, find that for me. I think it's in Ezekiel chapter, I don't know, it might be around the 16th chapter, where he talked about he found Israel naked. I think Israel was bleeding. And God picked Israel up and cleaned her up and nursed her. Find that for me. That was me. I was bleeding. Naked. Hurting. I had lost everything. Woo-wee. I found him when deployed to war, Jack. Come on, Michelle. Polluted in his own blood. Lord have mercy. Whew. Y'all gonna make me grab my piano. Y'all gonna make me grab that piano. The desires of our flesh is too strong to allow us to chase after him. He took us out of the... Ooh, come on, Molly. Girl, do your husband know you preach like this? Do we know? A non-swimmer tossed in the deep end of the pool will very quickly realize ooh, Gary, God, the man, if you don't preach. Boy, Lord have mercy. Right, Terry? Did you have a witness? That's what the saints used to say. And I never could understand that. Why we in a court of law? Do I need, is this a wedding? Do I need a witness? This between me and God, and this is why I tell y'all to shut the cameras off during the altar call. Shut it down. That's a private matter between that person and God. You don't need no witnesses. Come on, Truth Reign. I love the Lord. He heard my cry.
10 o'clock.
Brain surgery and 2 strokes from war. Wow, injury. Wow. Carol. Lord have mercy. He brought us out of darkness into his marvelous light. Look where he brought me. I'm trying not to grab the keyboard. I'm trying not to, because the bunkers are preaching this gospel right here. Woo-wee. Now, let's get back into this lesson before revival jump up out of YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Look what it say right here. Look what it say. Then Samuel said to all the people of Israel, if you want to return to the Lord with all your heart, get rid of your foreign gods. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There it is. Ezekiel 16:8. All right. I'm gonna read that in just a minute. Okay. I'm gonna read that in just a minute. All right, because I want the people to see that on the screen. Okay. I want the people to see that on the screen, because we're gonna read that as we're getting ready to end. Lord have mercy. The foreign gods. Y'all got foreign gods. Can y'all tell me any examples of foreign gods? And what is the word for that when you're serving other things? Can y'all tell me what is the word for that? He said, get rid of your foreign gods and your images. Here that go again. Last week we talked about Ashtoreth. How is Ashtoreth popping up in the holy places? Huh? Turn your hearts to the Lord and obey him alone. Then he will rescue you from the Philistines. Turn your hearts, man. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Beatrice. Carol. That's idol worship. Are we doing that today? And if we're doing that today, can y'all give me examples of our idol worship? Can y'all give me an example of idol worship today? And y'all are doing it inside your churches. Idol worship. Some of y'all got Ashtaroth poles here in your churches. Not here in Faith Temple, but in your churches. Ron said Trump. Big one. Big one. Denise said she was a money god. Fashion, Bridget says. Worshipping pastors, TJ says. Nathan says horoscopes. Yes. But even inside the church, money, education, health. Yes. Ishtar and the rest. And the rest. Yeah. Money, cars, homes, profits, social media, entertainers, entertainment, power. That's good, Ron. Power. Wow. TJ say TV. Worship personal perspective. Yep. Vanity. Dagon is the Philistine god. Yes. Lord of the flies. Right here. One is a fertility god. Mammon. Yes, Timothy Johnson. Casinos, Michelle says. Yes. Raymond, social media. That's exactly it. The choir and the worship leaders. Man, y'all finding a whole lot of gods. Lottery. Yeah. A lot of church folk play the lottery. Our kids, Elizabeth said, that is true. That's true. Bold statement, but it's so true. Okay? So right here, what it say? So the Israelites got rid of the images of Baal and Ashtaroth, worshipped only the Lord. But guess what? That was only for a time. Carl says we worship ourselves. Wow. Michelle says our spouse. DJ said Mother Bobo. You got to be a Sirwalterj Jones show follower to even know about Mother Bobo. Then Samuel told them, gather all of Israel's to Mizpah, that is, and I will pray to the Lord for you. Back then, somebody had to pray for them. Isn't it wonderful that we now can go to God for ourselves? So they gathered in a great ceremony, drew water from the well and poured it out before the Lord. What does water represent, y'all? What does it represent? They also went without food all day and confessed that they had sinned against God. Confession is good for the soul. And then Samuel became the judge. He became Israel's judge because God still was running this thing up under a theocracy. Okay, he was still running it that way. All right, thank y'all. Water is a representation of the Holy Spirit. So that's why the Old Testament is the New Testament concealed. When the Philistines rulers heard that Israel had gathered, they mobilized their army in advance. The Israelites were badly frightened when they learned that the Philistines were approaching. Don't stop pleading with the Lord our God to save us from the Philistines. Y'all don't stop worshiping him. Lord, I don't have time to go into this part here because here's where my testimony comes in. I told y'all about my testimony at the park in Daytona Beach, Florida. Tuscaloosa Park. As a young boy, about 18 years old, searching for God. Police pulling in that park that was closed. It was about midnight, and the cops pulled in there, shining their lights, and there I was, giving God the praise, asking him to save me, save me, save me. Fill me, oh God, with your spirit. At 19, help me, God, help me, help me, help me. And God kept saying, keep praying, keep praying, don't worry about those police, because I saw them in my peripherals coming in there, and that was during the time, it was like 1980, mid 80s, during the time when cops see a little black boy in town, and in that town, they arrest you. They just did some crooked stuff. These white cops. This is the South, y'all. That stuff's still going on today. I heard a lot of stories from the students. The teachers would say, "Don't be caught after dark off this campus." And I defied the order, and I went down there in the park, and I prayed to the Lord to save me. I looked up and I saw the moon and the stars, and I began to pray to God. And I heard God says, "Keep praying. Don't let man disturb you." This is my conversation, our conversation. And I kept my hands in the air as if I was surrendering to the police, but I was surrendering to God. And God blinded the cops' light. It just went out. Blinded it. When I read this, a shockwave went through me because I remember that moment. I'll never forget it. I took my kids back to Tuscaloosa Park a few years ago, 2012, somewhere around in 2013. I took them back and I showed them where God saved me in that park. My kids' eyes bucked. Wow. I said, yeah, right there. The Lord saved me right there. He said, the Philistines are coming now. Y'all are in revival. He said, but don't stop pleading with the Lord our God to save us from the Philistines. They begged Samuel. So Samuel took a young lamb and offered it to the Lord as a whole burnt offering. He pleaded with the Lord to help Israel, and the Lord answered. Come on. The angel of the Lord encamps around them who fear him, and he rescues them. Just as Samuel was sacrificing the burnt offering, the Philistines arrived to attack Israel, but the Lord spoke with a mighty voice of thunder from heaven that day. The Philistines were thrown into such confusion that the Israelites defeated them. The cops were so confused because they were shining that light. That light was coming towards me, and the light just went poof. Confusion. The men of Israel chased them from Mizpah to a place below Beth-kar, slaughtering them all along the way. Samuel then took a large stone and placed it between the towns. All right, he named it Ebenezer, which means the stone of help. For he said, up to this point, the Lord has helped us. The stone. That's why Tuscaloosa Park is that stone. And every time you find me in Daytona Beach, Florida, every time I visit that town, I never leave until I take a drive through Tuscaloosa Park to find a stone where the Lord saved me at the age of 19. So the Philistines were subdued and didn't invade Israel again for some time. That means the enemy is coming back. That's what some time means. He's coming back. Satan left Jesus for just a season, and the angels came and ministered to him. And throughout Samuel's lifetime, the Lord's powerful hand was raised against the enemy. The Israelite villages near Ekron and Gath that the Philistines had captured were restored to Israel. Give me mine back. That belongs to me. No, God's not going to create a new one for me. What you got is mine. Give it back. Restored to Israel along with the rest of the territory the Philistines had taken, and there was peace between Israel and the Amorites in those days. Peace. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray. Yeah. Samuel continued as Israel's judge for the rest of his life. Each year he traveled around, setting up his court, first Bethel, then at Gilgal, and then at Mizpah. He judged the people of Israel at each of these places. Then he would return to his home in Ramah, and he would hear cases. And Samuel built an altar to the Lord at Ramah. All right, now, that's chapter 7. Although the lesson ends there, if you go to chapter 8, you'll see why I said what I said earlier about these sons. Here it is as I shut this down. I'm ending, y'all, because Florence is going to bed. And once Florence go to bed, that means it must be late. It must be late. It won't be long when we'll be leaving here. As Samuel grew old, he appointed his sons to be judges over Israel. Joel and Abijah. Older sons held court in Beersheba, but they were not like their father, for they were greedy for money. They accepted bribes and perverted justice. Man, what is wrong? Samuel, these your boys. How? I'm not even going to read the rest. These are your boys. This is why Paul wrote the letter to Timothy and Titus and says, you cannot serve in this house of God until you clean up your house. You got to clean up your house. He says, how can you serve in the household of God when your house is jacked up? When he went to Titus, he said, your children should know the Lord. In order for you to be a leader in the house of God, your children should know God. Yep, they're setting up dynasties, Ron. Come on, Marlene. Getting into ministry is no joke. Nepotism rarely turns out well. So, Ezekiel 16, where I asked Rogers to give me, where do we want to start? Where do we want to start? At verse 8. Okay. Start at verse 6 maybe. Now let's start at the first verse because you'll see what he's saying here. Then another message came to me from the Lord, Son of Man, confront Jerusalem. Well, y'all know Jerusalem. Did I take a picture of this? Wait, hold on. Did I take a picture? I don't think I took a picture of it yet. I can't write on it until I take a picture. Look what he's saying here, y'all. I said I was going to read this, and I can't be a lying prophet. Replace. I don't want to be a lying prophet, 'cause I need my fishing license. Ooh. I'm doing that now. Then another message came to me from the Lord, Son of Man, confront Jerusalem. Confront who? Now we know who we talking about. Come on, Marlene. The home is number one. If we can't get it right, we have no business over a group or a church. Marlene, do he know you preach like this? Why are you like this? Huh? Do he know? Is he aware? Son of Man, confront Jerusalem with her detestable sins. Give her this message from the sovereign Lord. You are nothing but a Canaanite. Jesus! You ain't nothing but somebody you ain't nothing but the world. That's what God is saying to you, the church. You ain't nothing but the devil. He said you are the son of the devil. He said you are of your father, the devil. Your father was an Amorite and your mother was a Hittite. Lord! You guys watching? That's crazy. On the day you were born, no one cared for you. Your umbilical cord was not even cut, and you were never washed, rubbed with salt, wrapped in cloth after the fashion of that day. No one had the slightest interest in you. No one pitied you or cared about you. On the day you were born, you were unwanted, dumped in a field, and left to die. Ooh, I want to cry, y'all. I want to cry. That's how some of y'all are being feeling right now. You who are in ministry, they've dumped you in a field. Come on, Tony. God was snapping, man. He said, tell my folks, tell my people. He wasn't talking to the world. He talking to them. But I came by. I walked by again. I'm not chasing God. He was chasing me. I walked by and I saw you there helpless, kicking about in your own blood. You ever seen somebody drowning in their own fluids? I had a friend who died, who drowned in his own fluid, waiting on the train. Drowned. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Elizabeth. Girl, what's wrong with you? But I came by, helpless, kicking. As you lay there, I said, live, Jesus. God told you to live. And I helped you to thrive like a plant in the field. Whew. You grew up and became a beautiful jewel. Your breast became full. Now that's something right there. When you keep yourself out the gutter, that means something spectacular right there. And your body hair grew, but you were still naked though. So when I passed by you again, I saw that you were old enough for love. So I wrapped my cloak around you to cover your nakedness and declare my marriage vow. Man, I married you. That's why God told the boy to marry Gomer. Is that how you spell her name? Go get you that prostitute. Go marry her. Bring her back home. I made a covenant with you, says the sovereign Lord, and you became mine. Wow. That was Hosea's girl. Lord have mercy. It's Gomer. E-R, is it E-R? My God. Jack Dave said, ooh, really? Then I bathed you and washed off your blood, and I rubbed fragrance oils into your skin. I gave you expensive clothing. Only God could do that, y'all. Fine linen and silk, beautiful embroidered sandals are made of fine goatskin leather. Y'all, this may sound silly right now, but back then, man, that was the finest designer you can find. This is what he was saying here. I gave you lovely jewelry, bracelets, beautiful necklaces, a ring in your nose. So you know, that was a black woman right there. Earrings for your ears and a lovely crown on your head, man. And so you were adorned with gold and silver. Your clothes were fine linen and costly fabrics were beautifully embroidered. You ate the finest food, choice flour, honey, olive oil, and became more beautiful than ever. Ooh, you looked like a queen, and so you were. Your fame soon spread throughout the world because of your beauty. I dressed you in splendor and perfected your beauty. Wow. Lord have mercy, ladies. Y'all think y'all are draped nicely? Wait till God drape you in cleanliness. Whew. Wait till God drape you in cleanliness. Here's the problem. The problem is Facebook stories, Instagram stories, and reels. Here's the problem. The same women who's going to be jumping up and down in a house like this, up and down, screaming and jumping and speaking in tongues and foaming at the mouth and saying, God told me to tell you this and this, that. Come Monday morning or maybe even Sunday night, I'm going to turn on my Facebook and see the stories that pop up on Facebook, and these same women will be naked. Boobs hanging out. You can imagine the nipple. All the boob is out and got a little nipple just right up in here, just waiting to say, hello guys, I'm here. Everything. Left. There's nothing left to your imagination. And they turn around, they want you to see their behind, they take a picture. There's always a picture of their behind. Always. If they put on some pants, it's going to be as tight as they can so that you can see the I'm not going to do the killing the mother's board bit. I'm not going to do that, but you can see it all. It's very sexy, and bikinis, and just sexy. That's what you're going to see on Facebook. When you wake up in the morning, there it is. I see it every day. No, Kamisha said the mother's board is coming out. I see it every day. God is saying here, let me beautify you. You evidently don't know how to do it. So when I see women who said that they are Christians dress like that and show everything that they want to show on Facebook in the stories, what it's telling me is that they are the women that I see earlier in this story. You know who these women are? Those are not these women here. Those women up here, they are still in their blood. Blood. Their umbilical cords is still not cut. They're not washed, and they are waddling in their own blood. That's what I see when I see Facebook. Yep. Jack said if they bend over, you can see their tonsils. I'm trying to tell y'all. That's what I see. God says, let me dress you. I'm going to dress you up. Come on, Michelle. They're polluted. Lost. They'll be in your house of God, though, tomorrow. They'll be there, jumping up and down. But you thought your fame and beauty were your own. Uh-oh. So you gave yourself as a prostitute. That's what I see on Facebook. You are a prostitute. You are a harlot. You are a whore. When you want everybody to see your body. And then get mad at the brother when he go in your inbox and flirt with you. How dare you? And then you want to put him on blast on your wall. You want to put him on blast. You won't see me replying. I replied one time 2 years ago to a girl who had all this out. I went in the inbox. I said, I got a question. God has been good to me. Right. I said, I got a question. Yeah, what's up? I just don't understand how you can undress like that, let people see all the stuff that your husband's supposed to see. And then I see you putting scriptures on your witness. I said, your witness stinks. I just couldn't take it no more. I said, your witness stinks. And she cussed me out. cussed me out. I'm talking about the very ones who put scriptures on the wall. Cussed me out. I said, all right, have a good day. Have a good day. And I never did that again. I said, nope. Not doing it. Not I. Because I'll be the very one they're going to be saying, Elder Sirwalterj Jones is in my inbox flirting with me under my naked picture. There's Elder Jones flirting with me. I said, nope. Nah, I'm going to leave that one to somebody else. I'm going to stay in my lane. Had a woman shout and dance and then stop and cuss at me for putting my hand on her. Then went back to shouting. Lord have mercy, what's wrong with the people? The late Elder Moffat, my pastor from birth, coming into the church where folks could see your future. Women dressed modest and nice ladies like, yeah, Jack, yeah. That's what I see, y'all. God called you a prostitute. And you're blind. You ever seen a blind prostitute? Ooh-wee. Man. That's what he said. Look at that. So you gave yourself as a prostitute. To every man who came along, your beauty was theirs for the asking. Wow. You used the lovely things I gave you to make shrines for idols. You played the prostitute. Unbelievable. How could such a thing ever happen? You took the very jewels and the gold and the silver ornaments. I gave you that beautiful body, and you played the harlot. I had given you and made statues of men and worshiped them. This is adultery against me. You used the beautiful embroidered cloths I gave you to dress your idols. Then you used my special oil and my incense to worship them. Imagine it. You set before them as a sacrifice. Oh, man, it goes on and on, y'all. I mean, he go deep. He go deep. God was just so upset with them, and he's upset with us. Unfaithful, disloyal, just like the body of Christ. Whew. Man, it's sad. Come on, TJ, use this. Spread the gospel, girl. Ezekiel 16. My book, which is called the United States of Sodom and Gomorrah, is based off of Ezekiel chapter 16. It's taken me years to write it. I would love to be done by next year. I sure would be nice. It would be nice. Yeah, because that's us. That is us for sure. Go to faithtempleevanston.org, O-R to the G, if you want to hear more stuff about our church. And tomorrow I'll be back teaching with the crew. The four of us will be up there teaching on this lesson here. Of course, it'll be much shorter. Well, we do go an hour. Yeah, we go an hour. We do go an hour, but it won't be as detailed as I do on Saturday nights. So Saturday nights is important because you can at least get the history of the lesson, and then we get a little teaser tomorrow. All right. I'd like to thank all of you who came to the birthday party yesterday. You were able to be at home and be at my party. Wonderful. This pandemic did something right. Gave me an opportunity to have a party, and all y'all show up. You didn't have to pay not one plane ticket to come here. Yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna do next year. I might just do a gathering. I don't know yet, but that was just part one last night. Part two is coming maybe Tuesday, I think it is, and we're gonna do part two of the best of the Sirwalterj Jones show. Okay. I'm still getting some videos, new videos for impersonation. So if you want to impersonate me, send an email to giftedfriends, the number 1, at Gmail. It's in the description below. Send it to me so I can play it come Tuesday, because I tell you, That between who? Jackie? Who was that? Jackie Correll and Gary and J Red. Man, I tell you, it was some good stuff there. Good stuff. And Marley McDaniels and man, it was a lot of great stuff. Great stuff. All right. So thank all of you who did give as well. Baby girl was happy. She was happy that y'all took care of their daddy, her daddy. She was elated. My son called me yesterday as well. He's in Memphis, Tennessee. They'll be there. Maybe I think they're there yesterday. Maybe they're leaving today. He and Jonathan McReynolds and Kirk Franklin. They're there today, and then they'll be in Mississippi next. They'll be in Mississippi for a few more days. So pray for my son as he's traveling with them, that the Lord keep him on that road as he's carrying all that precious cargo. And then I think they end their tour here in Chicago in August. He's tired already. He's really tired, but I believe the Lord's going to strengthen him so that he can carry out the job and make me proud. He was proud. He made me proud before he went on that trip. All right, y'all, take care of yourselves. I already ate dinner, so I'm gonna and sit here and do some more editing for just a couple more minutes, and then call it a night. God bless you. Jack Davis, thank you so much for being there, and a whole bunch of you bunkers here. All right, let's talk tomorrow night. Creflo Dollar. Let's talk about Creflo Dollar tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. I don't know what I'm going to say about Creflo, other than Flora Bronson Stitt is here. I mentioned Tuscaloosa Park. It's her sister, Bunny Bronson, who gave me the car, loaned me the car, so that I would drive to Tuscaloosa to pray and ask God to save me. That's Flora Bronson. Flora Bronson's father was a mighty man of God who served as the president of Bethune-Cookman University for almost 30 years. He adopted me as his son. I ate dinner in his home. He talked to me as a father at the dinner table. I was privileged as a freshman of that prestigious university to be sitting in the office, just the office, in his home. A lot of students didn't have that honor. He called me son. He fathered me. Great man. One of the greatest men I know. Lived a good life and have instilled in thousands of students. And many of them became great men and women in business and in ministry. So if you ever want to know anything about some of the men I consider great, his name is Oswald P. Bronson. Go to Google and type in Oswald P. Bronson and hear his story. That was my spiritual father. Yeah. All right. And the history, he a lot of history with Martin Luther King and with Coretta, and that man knew. He knew a lot. They were very, very close. He was very close to a lot of those civil rights leaders that y'all heard about in the 60s and what have you, in the 50s, 60s, and all that. That man, he walked with them. They would call him. He was rescuing colleges. When a college would lose its accreditation, they would send for Oswald P. Bronson to rescue the universities. And that's how he hooked up with Martin Luther King and the family in Atlanta, Georgia. And man, I would hear these stories and be like, wow, good Lord. And he was a gentle giant. He didn't brag about that stuff. Just didn't do it. So thank you, Flora. Bronson, for lending your father to us. Thank you so much. You could have been selfish and pulled him away, but you let the world have him. So thank you, girl. I appreciate you and love you. Gotta go, y'all. Sunday school is marching on. Yeah, yeah. When the storm clouds form, hear the cries of doom and gloom. Sunday school still marches on. Then when the grass turns green and the flowers start to bloom, Sunday school still marches on. Marches on. Marches on. Sunday school still marches on. Marches on. Marches on. Sunday school still marches. Sunday school still marches. Sunday school still marches.